Coach, how are those cornerbacks looking? Are they coming along like you're hoping?
Yes, sir. They are working every single day. I appreciate their attitude. We have some good leadership, some guys that played some meaningful snaps
Hmm.
in Al Walcott and Mark Milton. And you have some young talent in Chateau Reed and A.J. McCarty and Tevin Williams. And so those guys are working, and every day we're just getting a little bit better and understanding how to play in this system and how to work every day.
AJ really came on last year. How much does that help him going into this year, getting that kind of experience there late in the year?
Yes, I think just playing with confidence, and the more reps you get, the more confident you get. The one thing that you know about AJ is going to play hard. And now it's just controlling it and understanding exactly what I'm supposed to do. But he's going to play hard. This means a lot to him. And so now we're trying to build the other things of make sure I come in and study more film and watch it and be a student of the game. The guys like Jalen Petrie, Terrell Bernard, those guys left a great example. And so those guys have something to follow.
What's the importance of having guys who have that experience like Al and Mark back, and kind of knowing who you can count on in that area?
I think the more games you play, the more relaxed you are going into the game. Sometimes when you're young, you kind of psych yourself up and try to think of it's more than what it is, and it's just hey, relax and play, do what you do in practice, and if you do practice at the fast level like we talk about, then everything will be fine. But it's a comfort for those guys, and I think the team can look to those guys like Mark and Al for confidence of like, hey, they've done this before.
Do you feel like the group of DBs you have this year can be as good as the group you had last year?
You know what? We're not worried about the whole last year thing. Our focus is every day, just get a little bit better. And then at the end of the season, we can kind of talk about that. But right now, we're just so focused on, hey, like, be you and get better every single day.
Are there certain points throughout spring where you said, okay, this date I like us to have this, or this date I like to be able to measure this, or things like that? Do you set that, or do you kind of you're more free flowing?
Well, we always want great energy. We want great execution, okay, and we want that edge, and that's our goals every day. But we'll get in a circle, and we talk about, hey, what is each guy trying to improve on, and everybody has an idea of like, hey, this is what I want to get better at. Then we'll also talk in a group of like, hey, what do we want to see from this group today? And so everybody can talk about it and kind of we can take ownership. Everybody can take ownership of like, hey, this is what we said pre-practice. Let's do it.
You talked about Mark and Al. What are each of those guys' strengths? Do you
You
think?
know, Al brings a physical presence. You saw him blitz, you saw him making plays, you saw him tackling, and so he brings that physical presence. Mark can run, but also has some savvy of playing, executing the defense, crack replacing, playing in zones, and so both those guys bring different things to the table. But both we need both.
Was Chateau a guy that you knew was coming, that kind of thing? Or?
Yes, Chateau is constantly just getting better and better and better. And you could see in the off season wanting to come and talk a little bit more ball and get on the board and understand what's going on. And I think he's understanding the off the field, everything that you do off the field and studying and learning and understanding the system is going to help you on the field.
There's a certain level of swagger and confidence, almost cockiness, to be a corner and be on an island. Do you feel like this group has that? And if not, how do you kind of build that before the season?
Well, I think confidence comes from doing it, reps of doing it right. And so I think the more and more you make plays, the more and more you come to practice and you practice the way you should. You're going to get balls caught on you. You're going to miss things, but if you go at the right speed and your eyes in the right spot, you can take the small wins and you keep growing. And so for us, we just want to continue to grow and practice the right way.
What would you say is the biggest area of growth that this group needs to go through this?
I think like a day like this where it's warm, of fighting. I think that's anything. It's just like no matter what, you might not be your fastest because you got a strain or something. You're not 100%, but you're gonna fight. And so what we want from our guys is just continue to fight every single day and compete.
Just because you coached him last year, were you surprised when you saw what Kalen was able to do running? Did you see that speed in practice?
Oh yeah, Kalen can run. We all knew that, and so we were just kind of waiting to see what time it was, but he can really run. God has blessed him with serious speed.
For you, what were those big? What do you take away from a scrimmage? What's that big thing that you see in a scrimmage that maybe day to day in practice?
Well, what you want to see is in scrimmage, like when you're here practicing, things that showed up consistently. When it goes over there to the stadium, and there may be people in the stands or a little different environment, that guys can stay consistent and keep doing what you're doing, not trying to do too much, not doing mental mistakes that you weren't doing during the week, and so just trying to stay consistent.